Last time on this strange campaign.
I'm Dylan. I will be the dungeon master for this adventure.
My name is Austin, and in this adventure, I will be playing Belwin, who is a turtle, which is a turtle person.
So my name is Ben. The character that I'm playing is Cal Stormcurst. He's a barbarian.
I'm Rob. I'm playing Maximon Tumo, who is a high elf cleric.
Our party finds themselves wandering along the road to Lysylia in the nation of Edisfae on the continent of Dothesea. They've gone most of the way to Lysylia through the Lyswood. You distinctly recognize the smell coming down the creek as belonging to the canines of the wood.
Are these like nasty, evil looking wolves? Because I'm not. Yeah, he doesn't have to want to hurt wolves. You don't have to be hurt.
I mean, we did just see one like rip the face off of a guy.
Please help me bury him. His name is
Tim?
Tivum.
I was gonna say Tim's not a very fantasy name.
You can create a ghost if it's to gaslight an elven woman.
Well, I do not appreciate what you did to Tivum's grave, nor do I appreciate how you desecrated his spirit. I am appreciative for you saving my life. My name is Pafendria, but you noticed that she's suddenly carrying something. She must have grabbed something while you weren't looking. You said you comes from the forest? Have you seen my boy Tivum? He left a couple days ago to go find some girl.
Oh no.
I've seen his ghost.
You have to go to the tavern and tell my boys their brother's not coming home.
So I think I just walk up. To like the first table of two people, and I just start. Should I say, I'm sorry to tell you, but your brother.
The large brother comes in. What the fuck is you? You some fucking turtle. You saying my brother got killed by some wolves? Our brother ain't with no elven woman. He a good royalist like the rest of us. He don't associate with them elf folk.
He's a racist.
Yeah. Okay. So Maximon booms in. You are being prejudiced against my friends.
Roll intimidation.
We got a 15, and I have heard that the new. Can I roll for religion?
The fact that you've talked up, they're used to elves not being a very confrontational people. The fact that you've talked up to their face has pacified them for a moment, and their guard is taken down as they stare at you in disbelief.
Can I get the religion roll or what? So I'm going to tell them that their version of hell has just issued this warrant that if they're prejudiced, they get a little bit of fire on their hands.
You got a 19?
Yeah.
This is Fivo speaking. Another bloody elf trying to tell us about our religion. We know there's a hell. We know apparently we're supposed to all get along, but we don't listen to you elf folk when it comes to our religion. Our people, Aladan and Haladas, we're humans like us. We don't believe in your funny elf gods. Sensing that this situation is very quickly getting close to what could be a brawl, the bartender goes, Hey, boys. I come here and let you drink because you're good dock workers, and this bar is technically owned by the docks, but no starting no fights. I don't care if the turtle man and the elf and this Manar boy were rude to you. We let all types in here. We let them drink in peace. Hey, what's your name, dragon boy? It's Talietch. I let Talietch come in here even though you keep trying to scare him out. Because he pays, his money's as good as yours, so try to be nice. These folk look like they need a drink. How about everyone a drink on the house, eh?
Hey!
Yeah.
Have I ever seen a dragonborn?
No, you've never seen one. You've heard of them, but you didn't actually like think that they were like, you thought maybe they were like a rumor or like made up,
okay.
Or you pictured like an actual like dragon-sized like person, but seeing one for the first time, you are a little awestruck.
Cool. So I'm like super intrigued by that, and like if
So now has the situation kind of settled down a little bit?
Everybody goes up to the bar and grabs their lager as Gerard, the bartender, is dishing them out. And as you walk up to the bar, you bump shoulders with the Dragonborn grabbing his free drink.
Cool. Yeah. So if possible, I would like to like bring him his drink. I mean, you said he's right
next to you at the bar.
Cool. Yeah. So I'll grab the tankard and I will hand it to him and I'll be like, here you are.
He's about to get his drink handed to him by the bartender. Okay. And you reach out your hand to grab it. He sees you reach out your hand to grab the drink. He goes, "What, are you going to dump your beer on me?"
I was like, no, sir. I only meant to fetch this for you. I've never met a Dragonborn before, sir.
Are you going to gawk at me like all the other humans here?
I hope not, sir.
What's your deal then? Why are you being so nice? Usually you human folk like to point and stare and call me scaly skin or some shit.
Oh, I have had my share of people pointing and staring at me. I've just never seen anyone like you, except for my turtle friend over here. I met him just a few weeks ago.
Huh. Wow, you might be the first human I met who ain't got shit for brains. You guys want to come drink with me? Leave these losers over in their misery? Sorry about your brother. They look fuming, but Taliach just smiles and smirks.
Well, I'm down. I'm down to like I'm just kind of like I've just met this turtle. I'm like psyched that I've met a turtle. Now I've met a dragon, dude. I'm just living it up right now. I want to go get drunk with the dragon guy.
Yeah. So Belwin, he's like he doesn't sit in chairs just because he's a big turtle, and so he's only been exploring the new modern world briefly, but he knows he can't sit in chairs at this point. He kind of stands by the table, and he's still like a little perplexed by taverns like this. I mean, I guess he kind of does remember like his dining hall as a paladin, but new modern ways that he's not used to humans and such, I guess. So he's just kind of like standing quietly looking around, a stoic turtle.
I'll say, look, Belwin, he's a lot like you.
I'm just taking notes.
So yeah, what are you? I'm used to not living around other Dragonborn folk, but you don't seem like Dragonborn to me. You don't really seem. I don't have. I wish I had a big shell like that. It would be nice for deflecting all these racist assholes' comments. But where are you from, buddy?
Quick question: would Dragonborns have been around in my character's time of being?
Yes, and actually roll history if you'd like to recall something.
I got a 5.
So you remember that there were Dragonborn around when last you remembered. You remember seeing them, interacting with them, but you can't really recall anything specific, but something like feels pertinent and important, but you just don't know what it is.
I don't recall many Dragonborn from my time, but yeah, I'm a turtle. I fight to protect the forest and the light of life and those around. I want to help this stormy, sad lad here find his way because he just was looking so gloomy, and I can tell he's got a fire in him waiting to ignite.
Well, I'm Taliach. What's y'all's name? You seem like an interesting group of randomly assorted people.
I'm Belwin.
My name's Cal.
How about you? You're pretty quiet. I mean, I'm used to elves being pretty quiet, but I don't got no issue with elves. It's us against them, right? Those humans are the ones that hate all of us.
Hi, Taliach. Can I roll for history?
What are you trying to recall?
I got a 19. Hi, Taliach. I'm Maximon, and I've never met one of you Dragonborn, but I've heard you make the most exquisite sound when you die. Is that true?
Okay, that's weird. You kind of got a fucked up sense of humor, eh? Or are you just an asshole on purpose?
I'm a student.
Yeah, maybe you should lead with that first, buddy. If you mean we burst into flame and turn into ash basically immediately, I guess that makes an interesting sound, but
I'm taking notes.
well, I'm a sailor. I'm probably the best sailor in this whole goddamn town.
I'm
there
a
ain't no-
sailor too.
Well, hey, I knew there was something good about you, but there's probably nowhere on this lake I ain't been, and I can probably get there faster than anybody else. Like all these idiot humans in this town, they all seem to think that once a lizard's better at doing your job than him, it's just a reason to hate him instead of learn anything from him.
We'd like to get to the Forgotten Isle.
Oh, the Forgotten Isle? Yeah, I've been there. I've been there a few times. Pretty creepy place. I mean, it's all, ruins and stuff. Why are you trying to get out there?
It is a place of great power that my people once dwelled in.
I like
how
this,
old
like-
are you?
It's hard to say, I suppose. I don't know how long I was asleep, but things are very different now than they were when I was last awake.
Well, if that ain't cryptic as shit. Well, tell you what, I like you guys, and I'm heading over to Enkayan in the morning. Actually, I got a route that'll take me up there. I'll drop you off at the Forgotten Isle. We can leave 8 o'clock on the docks. I'll meet you there. But hey, share my table with me for a little while. You notice out of the corner of your eyes, as the conversation at this table has been going quite smoothly, you notice in the corner of your eyes the brothers have been constantly getting closer and closer to the table, their backs getting more and more hunched as their voices seem to be dropping lower and lower from an angry scream to a quiet plodding. Just as they seem to be eyeing over at you and making nods to each other, they get up and start heading for the door. And I need everybody to make a Constitution saving throw.
So I got a 23.
How
I got
about...
a 5.
I had a 12.
So, just as the two brothers head towards the door, suddenly, from the very spot that they were about to step out into the light comes a massive explosion, sending everyone in the tavern flying in all directions. You all get sent aggressively back against the wall. Belwin, you take 8 damage.
Oh, jeez.
Oh my god.
Maximon, you take 6 damage.
So I had 5 hit points.
Maximon, you are currently dying. Because we're not in combat, you don't have to make saving throws, but you are going to need to use healing on you, like ASAP, basically. But let me describe the situation that we see. And Cal, you manage to be lucky enough that the blast sends the table into your face, catching your armor and your shoulder and blocking shrapnel from landing directly into your head and throat. It all sticks into the bottom of the table. As you come to your senses, as you look in front of you, you see the whole front of the tavern blown completely open. You see bloody smears where Brodan and Fivo were walking. You notice behind the bar, Garrod holding a massive piece of broken timber in his lower stomach. And you see pinned to the wall by an enormous piece of timber is the lifeless body of Talietch, just hanging from the wall. Timber spears and fragments are splintered everywhere, and people start running out of their homes and buildings to look at the damage that has happened to the tavern.
The brothers that were being all sneaky, are they injured as well, or did they?
They're dead. They're pulverized. They are the bloody.
Oh, okay. So got it. That's what I understood. Wow. Okay. So do we have any? So do I need to roll or something since I guess my lightning reflexes or whatever happened? Can I try to perceive where this came from?
Roll perception.
I got a 6. Perception -2.
So
I really have no fucking idea.
As far as you can tell, there was no immediate warning signs or red flags. It seemed like the brothers were leaving the bar. A normal conversation was happening. You remember where the explosion came from? You remember it was right by the entrance, but other than that, nothing. You're still shell-shocked. Your ears are ringing, and you're barely registering what's going on around you. I do want to remind you that Maximon is currently bleeding out, and as is Garrod, the bartender, holding a massive piece of timber in his gut.
Jeez. Okay, so Austin, you're up. I just kind of did a thing.
Like kind of pop out of my shell, and when I look around, I go over to Maximon and see he's bleeding out, and I use the last 2 of my lay on hands to I only have 2 hit points to give, so I don't know if that at least just stabilizes you.
Wait,
Yeah.
I have a stabilizing spell.
But you can't cast it on yourself.
You can't cast it on yourself while you're dying, but once he stabilizes you, you can cast a healing spell on yourself.
So I go over and just like do some turtley, lay my hands on him, and it kind of does a little naturey glow, a goldeny glow, and heals him 2 hit points.
Oh, thank you. Oh my goodness. Can I? What's Austin at? Can I heal him or?
Well, you dude. Think of what your next move is, but like you just literally just regain consciousness from like being impaled with shrapnel.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I have a very selfish, kind of keep myself alive. So I'm gonna cast a spell on myself.
Yeah.
Do it.
That's what I would do, which brings me to full hit points.
All right.
I'm really fully out of it. Whew. What was that? But what a feeling.
You notice from outside a small dwarven man, a much older fellow, but very muscular, brawny, and immediately heavily armored, armed to the teeth, bursts through the gaping hole without a second thought, and he goes, "What's going on here?"
I am very badly hurt from this explosion.
Who are you folks? Where's Garrod? Garrod! He jumps over to Garrod, noticing the massive splinter sticking out of his gut. He goes, "Any of you healers?"
I'll run over and so I've got nothing, man. I have no
I can spare him
supplies.
from dying.
Oh, that's sick. So I'll run over and I'll be like, "Oh, he's hurt badly. Maximon, can you do anything? Can you help this man?"
I also run over and I touch him and I use my cantrip, Spare the Dying, which stabilizes him and keeps him alive.
All right. You see that where the splinter is entering his body, you suddenly see the flesh seem to grow hot around the wound, but it's actually cutting off the edge of the splinter, turning it to ash as the piece of lumber falls away and the wound is completely cauterized and sealed. Garrod is still spitting up blood and seems quite badly rattled, but he does seem like he might make it. "Oh, thank you. My name's Hosh. I'm the captain of the guard here. God, what happened? Someone tell me what happened."
So I'll say, so the dragon is pulped, right? Dragonborn guy?
He's pinned to the wall with a giant piece of wood sticking out of his chest, and he's completely
So
limp.
poetic.
Yeah, so no signs of of life.
I mean, you
All
can
right,
check
so
him.
Okay, I guess. But so for time being, I guess I'll respond to this dwarf because I'm impressed by his equipment or whatever, and I'll be like, "Well, we just come to this town. It's been a crazy day for me, sir. If I'm being honest, we just came to this town. We saw a wolf attack right before we came here. We told these brothers that the guy died, and I met a dragonborn for the first time, and then there was a huge explosion. I don't know. I have no idea what just happened."
Son, you need to calm down. You seem like you might be in shock. You're telling me you come to my town for the first time, and then the tavern is blown all to hell, and people die? Do you come here alone, the 3 of you?
Well,
Yeah.
three people can't come alone, or I guess we came alone as three. I don't know.
Nice turtle the answer there.
You didn't come to the town with anyone else. That makes you
Uh,
suspects.
Well, we there was an elf woman we encountered in the clear at the wolf attack, but she didn't seem too friendly towards us. Trying here.
This woman, boy, he slaps you to get your attention. He reaches up. He can barely reach your head from where he is. He's a dwarf, but he still manages to give you a little slap across the face. I need you to focus. This woman, describe her. Race, build, give me information.
All right, cool. So, Maximon, you want to describe because you're like Mr. Note Taker?
Oh, yes.
Roll perception.
Oh, that was a natural 20 plus 4, 24.
Wow. All right.
An etching of her in his notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah, he just whips out his notebook. It's like a perfect drawing.
Yeah, you actually, the notes you were taking, you made a complete sketch of her. You have her face,
Perfect.
you have Pfendria, you have her name, her exact height. You have this like almost kind of creepy level of detail that you've memorized about this person, and you show it to him, and you go, "This was the woman we were traveling with. She put something in her pocket as we were coming. It was a key with a cloth wrapped around it and some elven script written on it. She disappeared as soon as we hit town. In fact, you recall that she went down the main drag and then turned right before heading to the docks." Damn, that's impressive. So that means that she must be somewhere in the shanty town. Oh boy. This is gonna be hell. The Lord Mayor has to hear about this. I gotta get a medic down here to stabilize Garrod.
What about me? I need to be hurt badly. I'm a turtle.
I just met you people. For all I know, you could have had a hand in this. You say you brought some elf woman here? Oh God. She's probably with the VFN.
What's the VFN?
Roll history.
History is -1. So
Nice.
I rolled before. I got a 9, so I guess that's an 8.
What about you, Maximon?
I had a natural 16, but a modified 20.
Maximon interjects. He goes, the VFN, the Venfey nomads. They are the political extremist group of elves that seek to make retribution against Venenir for expelling the elves during the Great War. They are considered a terrorist group by many humans, but are considered somewhat of a group of freedom fighters by many elves. I'll let Maximon decide his feelings on them, but that's the information that you recall.
Yeah, are they against, like, do they have some kind of thing, like a problem with this nation that we're in right now, the democracy nation? Or do they just hate Venenir, the human nation?
You don't necessarily have that information. Roll perception. But
Okay, I actually rolled a 19 on that.
okay. So what you remember is you go, Captain, I remember Brodan and Fivo, before they left, they were talking about how they said that their brother was a good royalist. Hearing this, Hosh rolls his eyes and he goes, "Oh God, it's happening. They kept saying that it would come to this. It looks like the VFN is now targeting royalists as well as the monarchy in Venenir. Oh God. We gotta find this woman."
By the way, Maximon is pro VFN. He knows quite a bit. He's stands with the Elven cause, though he will not do bombings.
You just want to learn from the aftermath of the bombings.
Yes, I'm so fascinated by this Dragonborn. Although I'm pissed I was dead so that I could not hear the death call of that Dragonborn.
Roll medicine.
Oh, okay. It's a whole other issue. Yeah, I got a, ooh, damn, I got a 5.
You walk up to the corpse and you're kind of rudely nudging it with a piece of wood, trying to see if it will do something. You're very upset that the corpse didn't burst into flame like Taliech had claimed. But then part of you feels a little bit stupid and naive for buying into that, and maybe he was in fact actually fucking with you a bit.
Although, can we write into Matt? He will never admit that. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll roll only 20s on that.
So, Hosh, the dwarven captain of the guard, goes, we're really gonna have to get cracking on this case, but there's too much to do. There's too much to do right now. I think I'm gonna need the three of you to leave, so that my boys can get working on a crime scene, and so that we can get Garrod stabilized and out of here. I'm just gonna need you to clear out for the time being, and promise me that you're not gonna go chasing these leads without my boys breathing down your neck, because this is my town, this is my guard. We do the justice around here, and I don't need no vigilantes or private investigators screwing up justice. All right.
All right. So Cal is gonna he's gonna stand up and try to do like a salute of some kind to this guy, but it's gonna come across very much like
roll performance.
Okay, and he's trying to he's trying to come across like he knows what's up, like he is he knows how to be in a squad. I got an 11, but I bet I have minus to that. Nope, it's just 11.
All right. So
and I'm gonna say but as I do this, I'm gonna be I'd be like, yes, sir, but can we help?
So you do this little salute and you ask your question, and the dwarf just looks at you and he goes, man, you Manar people sure are strange. You can help, but like I said, get some rest. Just get out of my face. I need to think.
I'm very hurt right now.
Yeah, so do you think it would be smart for me to heal him?
I'm
Sorry.
I have 2 hit points right now, so I'm pretty, I got a lot of shrapnel in me, I would imagine. And I'm just, I'm hurting pretty badly. So I'm holding myself up with my quarterstaff kind of right now, just I do need to take a long rest.
Because I can just use Cure Wounds. I'll have used both my slots, but I'll just take a long rest. It'll be fine. I'm going to use Cure Wounds on Belwin, and that's going to give him 7 hit points of health back.
Oh, nice. Good.
So you get everyone onto their feet. You walk out onto the street through this now very large blast hole in the front. You notice on the ground there's this very distinctive scorch pattern that goes out in a radial shape. Further examination might reveal something, but you also feel you might have some duty to heed the words of the dwarven captain who's busy inside with the injured bartender. You look out onto the street and notice lots of people looking out their windows, holding their hands to their mouths, whispering among each other, but no one is getting too close to the building. Is there any particular direction that you'd like to head in?
I suppose we would head back towards the inn, just because we're gonna have to tell her other sons just died too.
Man, we are just we're the worst.
We didn't even do it though. We didn't do anything. We were just adjacent.
Is there? If we don't know about anywhere else to stay, I guess we could try to find somewhere else. So we don't have to deal with it.
I think Belwin would probably head in that direction because he wouldn't know anywhere else to go. So at least in his mind, that's the one place to go. But if Cal or Maximon have any other places to suggest,
I feel also he's or mystical enough or whatever that he doesn't fully grasp the awkwardness of that interaction in some way.
No, he's just kind of death happens, we go on.
Not phased at all.
I will say Maximon would probably suggest just, meditating for 4 hours in the church. I'll go to the inn because I understand that there's a conversation about death that's going to happen.
the party heads down the street towards the inn, you notice an elven and a human man, two figures, both in different and distinct religious garbs, walking towards the party, whispering to each other and looking at them, and then finally seeming to rush towards the party with an excited haste. They stop you in your tracks on the way to the inn and very quickly launch themselves into an explanation. The elven man goes, "Hello, my name is Feliadril. I am the elven priest of the village." And the human man says, "And my name is Alan. I am the human priest. And we would very much like if you would consider staying in our house of worship. We also have a proposition that we would like to bring to you. You seem to be the adventuring type, and we do have a bit of a situation. If you would consider following us, it would be much appreciated."
Can I speak in Elvish to the elven man?
Yeah, what would you like to say?
And say, "Listen, man, I know what's up. I'm also an elf myself. I understand. I love that you're religious. I love these garbs. They're fantastic. You'll have to tell me about your death rituals in the continent at some point, but I'd like to follow you. I don't know about these folks. I'll speak to them in common."
The elven priest, you see visible understanding in his eyes, and you see excitement. What surprises you, that catches you off guard, is the human priest is the first one to respond in Elvish to you, and he says, "Only speak Elvish? We assumed that the common tongue was shared amongst us, but he's speaking in Elvish to you."
And I admit to him, I was just doing that to make my compatriots feel a little excluded. But if you're gonna speak in Elvish, heck, let's just go common.
The two priests stare kind of quaintly at you and then stare at your party members, puzzling, trying to put together the connection of why you would try to leave them out of the conversation.
Belwin looks over them and tries to see if he can identify their religious garb.
Roll religion.
Yeah,
I rolled an 8.
You can clearly see that the human priest is wearing cloth that is very typical of a priest of Aladan. You recognize it as the religion shared between Venenir and Manorhad, but you believe that this is possibly more specific to Venenir, as many humans who live in Eodisfae also share the religious beliefs of humans in Venenir. And you can see that the elven priest is wearing garb that is characteristic of the elven deities, but as there are so many numerous elven deities, you're not really sure what specific deity his garb is attributed to, but it does seem fitting to an elvish priest of the pantheon of most elves of Eodisfae and Pseudisfae.
I'd like to mansplain this to this turtle. I rolled a natural 16 plus 4, so 20 in religion.
Okay, so you look to Belwin and you look to the elven priest and you say, "It's very, very clear, Belwin, that our friend Feliadril is wearing the garb attributed to the deity Joaquin, the elvish deity of trade. It is very obvious that a town such as Lysylia, on the lake, on many waterways, on many trade routes, would have a priest dedicated to our deity of trade." Feliadril seems very impressed with your assessment, but he also seems slightly concerned at how condescending you were.
Give Belwin a little slap on the head and be like, "Wise up." Yeah, that's what we do.
I'm just taking in all these new experiences.
If you are offering us a place to rest, we will not say no.
Okay, Feliadril, who is much smaller, he's a very thin, lithe elf. He seems a little bit more, a little bit younger, even though you know that elves live longer lifespans. He seems younger in his natural lifespan than Alan. Alan seems like a man in his late 40s, but a strong man who stands confidently on his feet. He seems like he has lived a life of much experience. Feliadril seems more unsure of himself and a little bit shaky and quivery. And with the excitement of youth, he says, "Oh, yes, good. Please follow us. Please follow us. Right this way to our humble house of worship." They usher you into the church, into what is a quaint little house of worship. It looks to you to be roughly about 30 feet wide on the interior by approximately 60 feet long, with a large arched roof. It looks very similar to many churches and houses of worship, and the interior is very minimalistic. There's not a lot of specific religious garb or carvings, and it seems like a space that works very flexibly with many religions that you assume would be the norm of a place like Iadisfe, with many different diverse peoples. They say, please, we can roll out some bedrolls if you'd like to rest now. In the morning, we would love to explain to you our bit of a predicament. But please, we understand that you're tired and shocked from the events of the day, and we would love if you would rest here.
Yes, we will rest.
Cool. Cal is like, he's had a pretty overwhelming day, and he's starting to look pretty down. He's a little gloomy.
The adrenaline has left his body.
Yeah. Yeah. Are we getting ready to do our long rest? Are we going to bed?
Yeah, I feel like
vibe?
we're all. I feel like Belwin is also pretty tired too. He had a big fight with the wolves.
Is there any specific plans that you'd like to set for your long rest, or like a watch or anything like that? Or would you like to all just go to sleep?
Out of a D100 for sleepiness, I got a 96, so I'm just really dazed and
Nice.
I go into my turtle shell and get good turtle sleep.
Do you guys want to do some chit chat for our rest?
No, I'll do a little character, a little team bonding around the fire or around the hearth, wherever we are.
I guess I'll just say that I know we didn't set those wolves against that couple, and I know that we didn't explode that tavern, but I can't help but feel that today was just my fault.
Boy, need not worry yourself with things like this. Things in nature just happen, and there's nothing we can do to control it. We just have to go with what happens in the flow of nature and just persist and keep hoping that we will persist and not be taken away by the fury of nature. I almost was today in that explosion, but here I am, still being a turtle.
Cal, I will say, though there are many things outside of our control, there are just as many within it. And I snap my fingers and I use thaumaturgy, and the hearth is now a black fire.
You attempt to do this with your willpower, but you cast thaumaturgy, and the force of the sound that the snap creates blows the hearth out, and the fire immediately sets the room completely pitch black.
Check it, bitch.
As the party takes this awkward moment of strange failure by Maximon as a sign that maybe they should start heading to bed in the pitch darkness, as you lay your heads against the stone floor of this very old church, all of you get the sense that just below you there's some sort of movement or rustling, but you know that the floor is not moving, and you know that the stones are set and solid, but you get this sense that below you there's something going on that doesn't seem right or natural for this church. And with that thought, you drift off into a sleep defined by the same dream. You each individually have a different dream of pitch black waves washing upon a shore of red sand. As you stand here on the sand, you look out into the distance as these waves crash upon the shore, and you see far, far in the distance a black spire, and at the top of that black spire, a dark red pool that morphs and shapes in the air, seemingly floating at the top of this black obelisk. And it almost seems like the tower is creeping towards you, or the horizon is growing closer. And just as it seems that you can make out more detail at the center of this shifting red shape, you snap awake and you find that it is morning, and you find Alan and Feliadril above you with hot food and coffee brewed fresh to wake you from your quite disturbing and restless long sleep.
Damn.
We made you some breakfast and here's some coffee. We apologize. We were unsure of what a turtle eats and drinks, so we tried to stick to vegetarian food. If the coffee offends, we could make some tea or some Feliadril. They are our guests. They understand that they are welcome to the bounty of our house of worship. Alan puts his hand on Feliadril's shoulder, and Feliadril seems to stop shaking and being so unsure, and you can sort of sense the wisdom of Alan flowing through Feliadril's body. If our guests require something, they will simply ask us, and we shall provide.
Any vegetables would be delicious in my turtle tummy.
Oh man.
I'm gonna speak in Elvish to Feliadril, and I say, have some self-respect, man.
Feliadril seems very, both at the same time, shocked and also slightly reassured and kind of like shamefully excited by your comment. Alan seems surprisingly very proud of Feliadril. It almost seems that Alan can sense this well of pride beneath the shock, and instead of getting angry at you, Alan looks at you and says in Elvish, he says, "Maybe there is much that you can teach our young elven priest. You seem to know much about our religious practices and the sciences of arcana and magic." Feliadril here.
Yeah, this is getting. Can I roll a 20 on flirt?
Feliadril here is new to our village. He was assigned by his holy priest in Fayin, but he's done an exceptional job, and he has been a guiding hand in the religious ways of our elven brethren. But it is good to see another mentor figure creep into his life.
And my character decides to never explain this to the party, by the way.
I'm just I'm assuming I was handed some.
Yeah, you're all
vegetables,
feasting on,
so
a nice melody of veggies, some carrots and root vegetables cooked hot and fresh in a little stew. With some herbs mixed in and some light salt and pepper. It's nothing too fancy, but it's hearty and filling, and it warms your body. You feel protected and holy in this place.
Last night you said that we had like weird vibes when we went to bed. Is that just because we had crazy nightmares, or like were we actually sensing some like malicious stuff?
I'm gonna need you to roll. Cal, I think you need to roll perception if you'd like to try to recall something about the dream or the feeling you were getting.
I want to do use my divine sense. So as an action, you can detect good and evil until the end of your next turn. You can sense anything affected by the Hallow spell or known the location of any celestial, fiend, undead within 60 feet. That is not behind total cover. You can take this feature 3 times per long rest. So I'm going to Divine Sense and see what I find.
You feel this sort of uncomfortableness and this sense of presence, but It's clearly not within the confines of your current walls and ceiling and floor, but you get this very uneasy sense that there's something deeper going on here, and that
Is it good, or am I getting am I
you're
picking
getting
up
some
evil?
You're getting some disturbing dark
And
feeling.
is it more like celestial? Is it more fiend? Is it undead kind of evil? Am I picking up on?
You
Or...
can't detect that unless if
Okay.
there's full cover.
Okay. Belwin stays silent while they're here, but I just keep gnawing, but I absorb this knowledge as I am gnawing on some veggies.
So you notice Alan and Feliadril looking at each other, and finally Alan nods to Feliadril, and he goes, "So I'm glad that you came. We've been experiencing some rather alarming nightmares and visions with the people who come here to worship. It seems that when people stay for too long, when they go home, they all share the same dreams, and they all sense the same sort of uncomfortableness with the grounds. We looked into some of the older records and books of the church, and we were alarmed to discover that we've been unaware of a crypt for hundreds of years, for many different priests and priestesses of this house. We've been unaware of a crypt, and using our books and our divination spells, we managed to find the entrance, but we haven't been able to conjure the courage to enter them. We don't know if they're dangerous. We hate to put this upon you now, but we desperately need someone capable of handling whatever might be down there."
Sounds like there's a darkness down there that needs the light of earth and nature. I think we should maybe investigate the happenings. I feel this strange presence here. I feel it deep in these stones, and we should see what lies beneath. And if it is as old as they say, it could even hold answers of what has happened to the rest of my people.
Can I roll for religion? I just like to know if I've heard about something like this before. If I've read about a similar.
If you'd like to try to recall information about the dream that you all shared, I would roll perception.
Same difference to me. I got an 11.
You try as hard as you can to try to picture this obelisk. You remember the shape of it, and you remember the minutia of the dream, but anything beyond the images that you were shown seems to fade from your perception. It almost seems like trying to think about it deeper causes you some sort of mental strain and pain, like a building migraine. And as you try to concentrate deeper, you're only met with this building pain that causes you to back out of the thought and to fade the images from your mind's eye.
Damn.
Cal, what do you think of exploring this crypt?
Cal would explain the fact that he is mistrustful of magic because his people are mistrustful of magic. So he's honestly just kind of spooked, but he will follow along with whatever Belwin is trying to do because he sort of sees Belwin as his mentor figure, even though he just met him, because he's just very desperate to have that kind of a dude.
Yeah, so your people are distrustful of magic, but they're distrustful of you because you contain magic, right?
I guess, but Cal never really thought of it that way. Cal just kind of thought he was legitimately cursed and bad luck, but not in a magical sense, in a superstitious sense,
Sure.
I guess, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But now Belwin is the first person that's kind of told him that he's got some special thing going on, and hasn't kind of either ignored the fact that he's weird or said something mean about it. So he's just kind of because of that, he's kind of like a puppy dog a little bit, just trying to learn more about himself by being around Belwin.
So Cal is on a journey of acceptance, but for now he's still quite distrustful, and we need to get him there.
Yeah, I don't, because I'm just kind of like, I don't know, guys. Like, I'll do what you say, but like, everyone back home said magic is real bad news. Like, that's why they didn't like me, because they said I was real bad news.
Yeah. Well, next time we have a fireside chat, we're gonna try to get some of that stuff out of you. But for now, we're deaf and dumb to it.
Alan turns to you and goes, "So, will you help us?"
We will explore this crypt of yours and see what we find, what darkness lies in there. It is my duty as a knight of the forest to shatter the darkness that lies within the crevices of the world, to let nature thrive. Huzzah!
Feliadril seems particularly inspired by your speech, and he goes, "You must let me come with you. You must let me help. I feel I must prove myself." Alan seems taken back and puts his hand on Feliadril's shoulder. Feliadril, that does not seem like a good idea. You do not know what is down there, and your magic is naive and weak at best.
Damn.
But I must. You have such a storied life. When will you allow me to live mine? Feliadril, if you saw the things that I have seen in my lifetime...
Are they like a couple?
No, but there's like a mentor-master type relationship.
Okay, cool. All right, cool. Just making sure.
It's like kind of kinky mentor, man.
There's sort of a father-son type thing going on.
Okay, all right. So nothing like that. We get it.
Yeah.
Kind of
Father,
father,
wink,
son.
son.
Yeah.
Daddy, son.
Feliadril,
Daddy, boy.
Feliadril, if you had seen the things that I had seen in my lifetime and done the things that I have done, you would not want to go down into that crypt. Feliadril seems a bit deflated by this and a bit taken back. And he goes, I suppose so. I just feel like...
Danger follows us, boy. It's best that you remain here while we go into the darkness. You do not have the experience that the three of us do. We have fought wolves.
And survived an explosion.
Alan chimes in and goes, "It will not be 3, it will be 4. I will lead you in there, as I have served as the priest to this church for as long as I have lived in this village. I feel it is my responsibility and obligation to see that the safety of my people is guaranteed."
So I'll be like, but okay, so Hosh did tell us to like lay low and let him figure out about the DW whatever.
VFN.
VFN. You can check back in with the VFN later.
Alan walks over to what looks to be a quite simple pedestal with a water basin on top, used for ceremony, usually filled with holy water. And he puts both hands on it and gives it a great shove, and you notice that it begins to pivot and slide along a central axis, swinging out of the way, revealing a very tight but dark and certainly deep spiral staircase leading down and down and down. If any of you have torches or fire magic, it will certainly be dark down here. I do not know if there will be light to follow us that we do not bring.
I will say I have dark vision.
I don't think it doesn't seem like I do. No.
I definitely don't. I'm just a human.
You know what I've never talked about, but is a part of my character? It's in the lore that exists in the pictures that I posted. That I'm always wearing dark sunglasses because of my dark vision, but I take them off.
You should have torches in your adventure kit if you do not have dark vision. I would recommend.
Yeah, I have a torch.
Get one. I
Alright.
can get one. Go, Belwin. Do you want to do it, or do you want me to hold it? I don't mind. I'll probably hold it because I see myself as like inferior to you, so I'll want to like being helpful.
All right, if you insist.
All right, cool,
So,
cool. All right.
Alan
Put my
lights
sunglasses back on.
Alan lights a torch as well, and he says, and he pulls. He didn't notice where he was keeping it within his robes, but you see, as robes, a large flap opens up, and you see he pulls out a great mace in one of his hands. And you seem taken aback that this priest was armed, but he wields it quite confidently, and he says, "Into the crypts we go." And he starts down the long stairs with you following behind him.
Who's still here? Dylan, are you still here? All right. Cal, all alone again. All by himself.